Given what has happened at the Survivor Series over the years, it should come as no surprise that a lot of these moments have been truly shocking. I mean, one literally changed the pro wrestling business forever. Think of that! Doesn't happen every day, but we have WWE's annual November pay-per-view to thank for it. It doesn't stop there, however, as the Thanksgiving extravaganza is responsible for quite literally loads of monumental scenarios that have had a huge effect on the industry. I don't know what it is about this show, but hell, put your big boy shoes on and get ready to party. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is the 10 most shocking WWE Survivor Series moments. Number 10, Edge strikes again in 2008. We all know that Edge cemented his career by popping out of nowhere and doing stuff. That man loved a surprise, right down to his first WWE title win, and every time he did this, it only seemed like he gained more and more momentum. He really was the ultimate opportunist. While many will look to his Royal Rumble return in 2010 as the highlight, his actions at the 2008 Survivor Series aren't too far behind. Although the planned bout for the night was a WWE title match between Triple H, Jeff Hardy and Vladimir Kozlov, what barn burner that was going to be, a story was put in motion where Hardy was found unconscious in his hotel room. That would have been fine if it didn't mean we had to sit through Snooze Fest 2000 as the game and the Russian proceeded to bore us all to tears. Thankfully, the ending saved the day. Absence from TV since The Undertaker had tried to kill him at SummerSlam, Edge appeared from nowhere to take Hardy's place and win his third world title. It was a whirlwind to say the least, and genuinely shocking, because no one saw it coming. Number 9, HBK's last world title win in 2002. It is crazy to think that Shawn Michaels' last world championship win came 15 years ago. I mean, what is happening? Time is moving too fast, man. Let me off this train, because I'm getting all the fear. Anyway, there's more to this story as it did go down during the first Elimination Chamber match, which was a big deal in the early 2000s. Featuring RVD, Triple H, Kane, Booker T, Chris Jericho and the Heartbreak Kid, it was pretty solid from start to finish, especially because everyone else assumed Michaels was there just for fun. Wasn't the case at all though. Instead, the last two men standing in the ring were indeed Shawn and his former best buddy Triple H, so when Michaels slammed the game with the sweet chin music for the win, the place erupted. It didn't even matter Michaels was dressed like some weird mud cowboy either. This was a moment no one was ever going to forget, even more so because in hindsight, we never saw it again. Number 8, Goldberg slays the Beast in 2016. When my dad Goldberg returned to the WWE in 2016, no one was quite sure what to think. His previous run with the company hadn't been great, and here he was scheduled to take on Brock Lesnar. How was that ever going to work? Well, as it turned out, it was going to work exceptionally well because WWE pulled out some genius booking that made us all soil ourselves. It's disgusting. Deciding to simply turn the clock back and give us the Bill Goldberg we always wanted, the Master of the Spear kicked the crap out of Brock in 85 seconds in one of the biggest fake upsets in years. The crowd was stunned, I was stunned, you were stunned, your mum was stunned because you're a grown man and you still watch pro wrestling, but it didn't matter. It was the start of a glorious feud between the two that had a sweet, sweet payoff at WrestleMania 33, and for me, is one of my favourite Survivor Series moments ever. Number 7, HULKAMANIA falls in 1991. Even though his career has lasted longer than most people have been alive, one of The Undertaker's true highlights and shocking moments came in 1991 when he topped Hulk Hogan at the Survivor Series. It was clear even here that the peak of HULKAMANIA had cooled off a bit, and while Hogan would continue on for years, seemingly officials in the back thought that something had to change. Here, that was taking the WWF title off of him. It was a huge shock though, especially as the nod went to Taker. He'd only been in the company for around a year, and him taking this victory meant he became the then youngest world champion ever. Ticked a lot of boxes during one match. And sure, there was interference from Paul Bearer and Ric Flair threw a chair in the ring for Hulk's head to be tombstoned on, but it didn't matter. This is an image so many fans remember today, and while the Phenom lost the belt only 6 days later, it's a pivotal point in wrestling history. Number 6, Sting arrives in 2014. How the hell is this 3 years ago already? Didn't we just talk about this? I think we did. Jeez, we're all screwed. Given that a lot of us never thought we'd see Sting in the WWE though, him turning up at all was mind-blowing, even more so given it was yet another moment in the Book of Survivor Series surprise moments. With a main event in 2014 that pitched a Triple H team against a John Cena team, the stipulation was clear. If the game lost, he would have to disband the Authority. The problem, however, came when the good guys were whittled down to just one person left in Dolph Ziggler, whereas the assholes still had Luke Harper, Kane and Seth Rollins. Didn't look good. Triple H got involved as he would, but then from there the madness started. The lights shut off, an unfamiliar sound echoed throughout the arena, and Sting finally arrived in the WWE to help see off evil and support good. It was an awesome few minutes, and while everything after this with the former WCW man was questionable, it still didn't take away from what was achieved here. Number 5, Bob Backlund defeats Bret Hart in 1994. Imagine at this year's Survivor Series, Roman Reigns lost to, I don't know, Diesel. Would it make sense, right? Who is this relic from another era coming into town and acting like he's still the man? I mean, we'd all cheer him as he beat Reigns, but still, wouldn't make any sense. Now, that's actually a terrible analogy, but either way, that's essentially what happened at the 1994 Survivor Series when Bob Backlund of all people had the most surprise career revivals of all time. Although he'd been back with the WWE since 1992, Bob was now in his 40s and his persona was more out of sync with the then current fan base than ever. In short, no one really understood him. That's why the company turned him into some wacky heel, which did gain enough traction that it did get him a world title shot at the 1994 Survivor Series. And what happened? He won, beating a man everyone saw as the future in Bret Hart. It was a dumb finish as it saw Helen Hart throw in a towel after an 8-minute chicken wing spot, and in hindsight, this wasn't the right move. Shocking though. Can't argue that. Number 4, The Undertaker returns in 2005. The 2005 SmackDown vs. Raw elimination match is rightly remembered among the best in Survivor Series history. A tremendously well-paced encounter, it saw Shawn Michaels steal the show with some expert selling and helped make a star of a young Randy Orton who put HBK away with an RKO. But as great as this match was, it's only the start. As the Legend Killer celebrated, a famous gong sounded over the PA system and sheer panic engulfed everyone. Smoke poured from the ramp and the always lovely to see druids with a casket made their way to ringside. A bolt of lightning set the coffin ablaze and out came the Phenom, making his first appearance since Orton had trapped him in a flaming casket at No Mercy that October. Taker proceeded to whoop all the ass and it was just sports entertainment done right. Made you feel alive and excited, which is ironic given we were celebrating the return of a dead man. Number 3, Steve Austin gets run over in 1999. Alright, so let's be honest. The fallout from the Stone Cold gets smashed by a car angle died, and it died hard. For some reason, Rikishi was doing it for The Rock, and his intended push as a bad guy just did not work. Before all this though, it was awesome. With Steve Austin set to wrestle for the WWE title at the 1999 Survivor Series, it was a genuine shock when he was hit by an automobile halfway through the show. This was done in reality as Austin was injured and needed some time off, but it was the perfect way to do it within the realms of the story. Someone had legitimately tried to kill him. It looked great as well and kept the rattlesnake out full time till September 2000. It's nuts. Number 2, The Shield debuts in 2012. A debut is so important because it really can make or break what the fans think of you. You only get to make one impression, but the WWE got it exactly right with The Shield. Arriving on the scene at the 2012 Survivor Series, they interrupted a WWE title match between CM Punk, Rhino and John Cena to annihilate the big guy and allow Punk to retain his championship. To say something was perfect is always a bit much, but everything here was handled so well it was certainly within this category. Even Michael Cole's commentary sold it like these 3 men were the harbingers of doom. And from here, WWE didn't really ever go wrong with The Shield. This was twice as good as we'd all seen what happened with the Nexus, so it was as if everyone involved here learned, and look where we are today. Isn't it wonderful? Number 1, the Montreal Screwjob in 1997. Yeah, I know. This was obvious since you saw the title of this video, but what else could we possibly put here? Name a more shocking moment in WWE history, let alone at the Survivor Series. The Montreal Screwjob really is the event that keeps on giving. I imagine everyone knows by now, but if you don't, the short version is as follows. Bret Hart was off to WCW, Vince McMahon didn't trust him with the WWE title, so got Shawn Michaels, Earl Hebner and a bunch of other officials to take matters into their own hands and force the belt off the Hitman as he had no clue what was going on. In terms of shock too, it attacked like a tornado. Bret was shocked, the Hart Foundation was shocked, the audience was shocked, the people watching on TV were shocked. It carried on for months as well as everyone tried to get their head around it, hence why we still talk about it today. It will forever be a discussion point, and there's a huge reason as to why.
I am defiant.
I am defiant.
I am defiant. I am defiant. I am the villain. We are defiant.
Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Aren't you a star? Don't forget to subscribe below, and also the people who made this video, they're right here, so go and follow them and give them some love. If you want to see more content, there's probably some stuff flowing up above my head. Why not check it out? It could be fun. I'm not your dad.